The school system as a whole is pretty messed up and honestly quite outdated. Now guys, this is again going to be a completely raw video. I'm quite literally just playing Minecraft while I record this. But again, I dropped out of school in year 10. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Blake Ryan. I do YouTube automation as well as social media related things as an online income. I make close or a little bit over $100,000 a month. And I know what might seem a little bit unrealistic. So again, I'll go ahead and put up a few screenshots on the screen right now that kind of show a little bit of my revenue, whether it's from Snapchat, whether it's from YouTube. We do a multitude of different things. I also have my coaching program, which is obviously where I teach other people how to do YouTube automation. And that makes me about 6 figures a month as well. But I tend to not kind of include that in my whole kind of income-based thing because again, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it's coaching in a sense. It's not actually income that comes from my skill set. It's more so something on the side. So I don't really tend to include that. But again, the whole purpose of this video and this channel as well is just completely raw advice. Now, the school system as a whole never really stood out to me. I mean, I dropped out in grade 10 in Australia. So I believe that's called grade 10 for you guys, year 10 for us. Now, I was only 15 years old at the time. And thankfully I had a mum and sort of a family that was okay with the idea of me dropping out, even though I had yet to really make too much money online. Now, yes, I had, a little bit of success here and there. I believe I was making about $5,000 a month at the time, which again, don't get me wrong, is an amazing amount to be making at the age of 15, but it really wasn't enough to justify leaving school. And if I really didn't have a family that was okay with that, it definitely would have made things a lot harder. So I can resonate with those of you that do in that kind of side of things have to kind of take a bit of a step back because your family really wants you to do well academically. And I completely understand that. But from someone who has made millions of dollars at the age of 21, I mean, I have made close to $8 million online. And I know it might seem unrealistic because I don't have really anything to sell you. I don't gain anything from lying. This is purely my take on the school system and the way that things are. Now, in my opinion, the school system has sort of indoctrinated society to believe that you have to go to school, you have to get a 9 to 5, you have to go to university, you have to go to college, when in reality, university or college is really no different to purchasing a program, purchasing a course, purchasing a mentorship program. Matter of fact, I'd honestly argue that purchasing like some sort of course online or even just learning it yourself, I'd honestly say that's a better investment than going to university. Let's say, for example, you wanted to become an engineer. That is one of the only exceptions as to when I think university is genuinely worth it. That's if you want to become something like a doctor or an engineer. But if you wanted to do business studies, for example, why the fuck would you be paying $150,000 for university or for college to learn business from somebody who's never run a business themselves? I'd honestly say that purchasing a course has more upside because you could purchase that course and you could make $1 million, right? Even though the percentage of people that actually make that $1 million is lower, when it comes to going to college or university, you will never make over a set amount that is the maximum salary in that specific field. So again, it actually makes more sense financially to do that. So I'm not really too sure why it's become such a big thing. And I think it ultimately might have to do with just the indoctrination and the fact that children and people that are just graduating school don't really know where else to go if not university. And I think that's something that's really resonated with me since a very young age. I mean, I remember being in school and just thinking, wow, this makes no sense. I mean, why am I having to ask for permission to go to the bathroom? This is not the real world. Like, again, yes, I understand that the real world for a lot of you guys would just be going to get a 9 to 5 and being told what to do. But even at a very young age, I mean, I knew I wanted more. And I know this sounds egotistical, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm completely aware of if I was someone that had this fallacy and was indoctrinated into this society since a very young age, I would probably feel the same resentment, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of you are going to click off the video just because this video sounds a bit more, it's a bit on the controversial side. I mean, a lot of you guys probably do like the school system and that's completely fine. But just for me personally, it's never really resonated and it's never really made sense. And I think that sort of funnels into what I was saying before. Let's say you want to go ahead and start a business online. Why would you have to go to college to learn how to start a business from somebody who's never run a business? That's something that always really stuck out to me, right? I would be like, well, I remember I was in year 8 and we were allowed to choose electives. Electives meaning like, what subject do I want to have in addition to mathematics and English and religion, whatever that was. You were allowed to choose 2 subjects to obviously have. And one of these subjects was business studies. I was like, or I believe it was called commerce at my school. And I was like, sick. I mean, I'd love to learn how to start an online business or even just a business in general. And I think the funniest part was it was the sports coordinator teaching business studies. And I remember that always just really stood out to me. And I was like, hold on a sec, what the fuck? But if you guys think about it, that doesn't make any sense, because why am I learning how to run a business and how to operate a business from somebody who is working a 9 to 5, is working for $25 an hour and has never run a business themselves? It just doesn't make sense. It's the same reason why you wouldn't purchase a YouTube automation course or a Snapchat course or an e-commerce course from somebody who had never run an e-commerce store, right? You just wouldn't do it, because they wouldn't have the knowledge necessary to actually succeed in that field. It just wouldn't make sense. So I think that's one of those biggest things. And another massive thing that I honestly believe so heavily in, and that is actually believing in yourself. Now, I know this probably sounds a little bit corny, but it's actually what Alex Hormozy says. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with him. And one of his biggest things that he's always said is work so fucking hard that it becomes unrealistic for you not to succeed. And I think that is one of those truthful statements that I know these gurus and I know these grifters have a lot of controversial things to say, but I think that's one of those things that actually does make sense. And it's honestly true in my experience. Like, I remember starting YouTube automation and failing so many times. The first 20 channels that I made no money until I got onto Snapchat, and Snapchat ended up making me, millions in revenue, right? I was making millions from Snapchat short form content. That's like, if you go on Snapchat, you go to the homepage, you swipe right, there's all those little short videos like stories. I made millions from that, right? And that gave me the motivation. I had tried so many business models online, YouTube, Snapchat, all of these things, until one thing finally clicked, because I was chronically online. So again, I had dedicated so much time to something that the thought of me not succeeding didn't really cross my mind, because it would have to be so unrealistic. I mean, it's the exact same thing that if you do a musical instrument for long enough, if you work on a specific tool long enough, if you try to get a hobby long enough, you will eventually become extremely good at that one specific thing. So find something that has proven results, that being e-commerce, that being YouTube automation. Do a business model that actually brings you happiness, because again, I can say with certainty, and this is something that I had as well, if you get into a specific business model just for the money, you will get burnt out. It's the truth, because it can oftentimes take a lot longer than you actually expect to do well. And if you don't actually enjoy what you're doing, it's really not going to work out. You might get lucky, but again, it's not going to be long-term. And holy shit, this is a pretty cool cave. But for example, right, I love content creation. It's always been a very, very big passion of mine. And that's even why to this day, after making all this money, I still take time to go play Minecraft and just record videos like this, where it's entirely raw, entirely transparent, and hopefully quite helpful for a few of you guys to actually get to the numbers that I've gotten to, and to do the exact same things that I've done if being an entrepreneur and working online has been something you've always wanted to do. And another thing, when I first started out, I remember the first way that I ever actually made money was from Minecraft servers. Yes, I know it might seem unrealistic, but it kind of funnels back to why I'm playing Minecraft right now. When I was younger, I used to love playing Minecraft Skyblock and Minecraft Prison and game modes like this. So what did I do? I decided to make my own server. It was not easy. I think I probably invested more money than I actually made back, if I'm being entirely transparent with you guys. But again, it made quite a lot of money. I believe when I was about 13 years old, I was making like $3,000, $2,000 here and there whenever I'd release a server. And that sort of funneled back into, it didn't really feel like work. You want it to be where you wake up and you're excited to be awake and you're excited to go actually do your job and do your work schedule. And I know for a fact, if you're working a 9 to 5, sure, there might be those 1 in 100 people that actually enjoy their 9 to 5. But for the vast majority of you guys, you're going to be working a 9 to 5 just because you think it's what you have to do. I can tell you from personal experience, guys, I love what I do. Again, yes, I know I make a lot of money, and I know that might stem as to one of the reasons why I do enjoy it, and you're not wrong in any way. Yes, that is one of the big reasons I do enjoy making money. I enjoy the dopamine I get from it. But again, there is so much more to doing online business than just making money. I wake up every single day insanely excited to film content. I have so many different channels. Again, I have a lot of different sort of ventures that I do. Like, I help people make money with YouTube automation. I help scale channels. I have a mentorship program where I work directly with clients. We run softwares like Produce.so, ultra long form SaaS products. I have so many different ventures that every morning I will wake up with that dopamine. And again, I actually made a video on this previously, and this is something the school system does not teach you, but it's actually having purpose. They want to turn you into a robot. And I know it might sound really sad. I know a lot of you guys are probably clicking off the video. You're contemplating clicking off the video right now, and I completely understand that. But one of the things that school does best is turn you into a robot. And I'm sorry, but it's true. You were told from a very young age, wake up, go to work, do this, ask for approval, put your hand up, do this, ask to go to the bathroom, get up with an alarm clock. All these really crazy things that, again, shouldn't be the case. And truthfully, it is quite sad that we live in a society that has managed to indoctrinate so many people. Like, again, guys, look at my screen right now. I'm going to go ahead and pop up a few of our channels. These are completely faceless channels that our team runs. They take us less than 4 minutes a day to actually operate, and they make thousands a month. And when I put it into retrospect and I actually think about it logically, it is ridiculous that we have some people that struggle to put food on the table for their children, families that make $2,000 a month. That is the median salary, right? In a lot of different countries. But yeah, we have channels that post AI slop sleep videos, and it makes me $10, $20, $30,000 every single month, and I don't have to do anything for them. And I think when I really saw that, and even just seeing the small amounts back in the beginning of the online space when I was first starting out, it really opened my eyes, and I was like, wow, what a crazy fucking world we live in, where this is thought of as unrealistic or, you know, scammy or unsustainable. Or like, another massive thing I've noticed a lot of people do is, like, I'm not saying you guys do specifically, but a lot of people tend to hate on AI. You know, people just like to get on this bandwagon because they're not happy with their lives and their bums, and they want to go ahead and be like, you know, oh, but yeah, but you're ruining the internet with all these AI videos, blah, 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 blah. If you were working a 9 to 5 and you had the potential to make $10,000 a month by posting AI videos, you would as well. Get off your moral high ground and just be realistic for a second. Would you rather do that, or would you rather work in an office and have to live on somebody else's schedule for the rest of your life? And again, guys, I know this was a very, very controversial video as opposed to my regular content, and I just thought it was needed. I thought this video was very, very necessary to kind of share some light on what I personally do and my thought process and everything. Again, guys, one of my biggest things is I work directly with clients and actually scaling ultra long form channels like the ones I've shown you on the screen today. If you guys do want to work directly with me and you want to get access to all of my softwares to actually generate these videos in minutes, go ahead and check out blakeryan.co. It'll be linked on your screen right now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and have a great day.